You got to see some of the images of the devastating flooding we've been tracking across parts of Alaska here over the last week, and we'll have more updates on that here on AccuWeather.com. But thank you so much for joining us here on AccuWeather Weekend. I'm Damian Lotus, and lots of weather to track here for today, so let's go ahead and take a look at the latest here with satellite and radar. We will be watching out for an elevated risk of severe weather here as we head throughout this afternoon and this evening. We've already seen multiple severe thunderstorm warnings from Texas and Oklahoma, parts of Missouri as well. Temperature-wise here for today, we will see a strong cold front sweeping its way across the plains. Behind the front, we'll see widespread 50s for highs. Now, ahead of the front, we're actually going to be watching out for record-breaking heat across parts of the south and the southeast. Now, across New England, we'll see a mild forecast here for today with temperatures ranging from the 50s in New England to the 80s across parts of the Ohio Valley. Across the northern plains, this is where we're really going to see the breezy north winds here because of that cold front, dropping highs to the north into the 50s here for your Saturday afternoon. Across the northwest, there will be some showers from Seattle down through Portland, but overall, this is a pretty mild forecast here for your Saturday afternoon across the northwest. Definitely feeling like fall for sure. Now, we will be watching out for warming conditions there across Southern California. Look at Los Angeles getting up to 87 degrees. Very, very warm here for this time of year. But speaking of warm, this is where we're going to be tracking record-breaking heat here as we head into this afternoon. Take a look at this. Austin, Texas. The number to beat for today's calendar date, 94 degrees. And that record was set back after World War II in 1947. So we're tracking a nearly 80-year-old temperature record that looks like it's going to be broken today. Our AccuWeather forecast high for Austin, 95 degrees. So Central and South Texas is definitely going to be hot here for today, but not just Texas. We'll be watching out for record-breaking heat from Louisiana into Mississippi as well. But you can see rain and thunderstorm cooled 70s and 80s from Oklahoma City to Dallas, also from Little Rock into Memphis. We'll be watching out for that elevated risk of severe weather here as we head into tonight. And then across the southeast, we'll see a mild forecast, some cooler conditions along the coastal areas where we got to see some of that rainfall from that tropical wind and rainstorm. We'll see some 70s, but overall across the region, we're primarily going to see afternoon highs climbing into the 80s. But our top story is going to bring the storms, bringing rain, severe weather, and cooler air to millions of Americans. The second severe weather season today is turning active across cities stretching from Oklahoma City to Little Rock, Jonesboro, into Memphis. Storms have already been firing up across parts of the southern plains with damaging winds already being reported. Meanwhile, rain is starting to return to cities like Chicago, Indianapolis, and Detroit. Much needed rain will actually work its way across the Great Lakes into the northeast, but it is going to put a damper on some fall plans. I'll have more on that coming up. But first, let's go and start you off with a closer look at that risk of severe weather here as we head throughout your Saturday. And here's an updated look at our AccuWeather exclusive storm zone. Any storms that form in or move into this highlighted region right here will be capable of producing large hail, damaging winds, flooding rainfall, and yes, even an elevated non-zero tornado threat. This is going to be a level 2 on our AccuWeather risk impact scale for severe weather here, primarily across the state of Arkansas here as we head into this afternoon. Now, one thing I do want to point out, we have seen multiple severe thunderstorm warnings from Texas to Oklahoma, even into parts of Missouri. And I do want to highlight that some of these storms have actually formed outside of this region, this highlighted region. So even if you aren't in this highlighted zone that we have for you, it does not mean you're in the clear. This just means that this zone we have highlighted for you is where our forecast is, where the atmosphere is going to be most supportive for severe weather development and severe weather intensification here as we head throughout this afternoon and as we head into this evening. Future Track Radar is showing just that, stopping the clock at 3 to 4 p.m. local central time. Yes, we'll see this main line of storms stretching from Austin all the way through Indianapolis, but ahead of the main line, we'll be watching out for a few of these thunderstorms, and these are the storms that are most likely to form into supercell thunderstorms. And supercell thunderstorms are the ones that are most likely to produce large hail and tornadoes. So the highest potential for tornadoes will be in that 3, 4, 5 p.m. time frame here across parts of the I-40 corridor from Oklahoma City over through Memphis. Now, as we head into the evening hours, right around 6 p.m., you can see this line of thunderstorms kind of coming together a lot more organized. And whenever these lines of storms really start to come together like that, the overall risk for severe weather shifts from tornadoes and large hail to strong winds and flooding rainfall. And that's exactly what we're going to see. Flooding rainfall here working its way across the Mississippi by sunset and even as we head into the overnight hours. One thing I want to point out, we are still going to be watching out for that risk of severe weather here across central and east Tennessee, even across parts of Alabama and Mississippi as well. So during the overnight hours, now is a good time to download our free AccuWeather app to stay up to date with the latest. You can get push notifications to your specific location for the latest watches, warnings, and advisories, because this is going to be another overnight threat of severe weather. Now, across the rest of the region, we will be tracking, once again, advantageous rainfall from the Great Lakes into the Northeast. This is where the drought has been really bad, some of the worst in the nation. So we will take every drop of rain we can get, and that's exactly what we're going to see here as we head into mainly Sunday. It'll be a drier forecast today, but the rain really starts to move across this region on Sunday. But it's also going to come with a threat for damaging winds here across this region as well. Widespread 40, 50, even 60-mile-an-hour straight-line wind gusts will be in the forecast across this region. And we will be tracking another threat of severe weather here across this region as we head into Sunday evening as well. From northern Georgia, northern South Carolina, all the way through the Great Lakes, we'll be watching out for a risk of severe weather heading into Sunday afternoon. So this is going to be the highlighted region we're tracking for that. And Future Track Radar is showing that, yes, this storm is going to work its way through pretty much midday. But one thing I want to point out, as you look closer at this, we'll see the main line, but behind the main line, you can see a secondary batch of heavy rainfall developing. That's why the risk for flooding rainfall is going to remain elevated here across this region, not just because of the main line, but the secondary line as well. So I'm going to take an updated look here now at the Big Three.
October means that when we get the severe weather threats, we also mix in a little bit of tropical action too. And that's the case as we continue to track the tropics for the lead story here.
Absolutely. So number one on our list is, I just want to point out, I think you brought it up. Even though we are heading to the middle parts of October, we are still in the thick of our hurricane and tropical storm season. And that doesn't really start to go down until after Thanksgiving. So do not let your guard down just yet. And Melissa, we're going to be tracking two areas here over the next week, week and a half for development.
Yeah, the northern one really only has a couple more hours, maybe get some sort of tropical-esque feature to it, but ultimately it's probably the southern one that has a better chance of taking off, the medium brisk, and that's a tropical wave we've been tracking since Africa.
Absolutely, and this tropical wave is continuing here on this westerly track. But if it can make it intact to the Caribbean, where there's low wind shear and warmer water, that's when we're really going to see that intensification really start to ramp up.
It does have the potential to become a hurricane, so it's an option out there. There's also a lot of options as to where it heads if it does form in the Caribbean. It could go towards Central America, it could go northward to the Atlantic. Still a lot of questions with this one.
That's right. We could see some impacts to land here, the U.S. mainland here, as we head into next weekend. So definitely pay attention to this forecast as we go forward.
All right, let's take you into the south central U.S. where we've got some changing weather here, and it's not as much in the rain. You can see there are some showers and thunderstorms Oklahoma City to Dallas.
That's right. So the rain is going to cool things down, but to the south across central and south Texas, record-breaking heat here for today, but all that changes as we head into tomorrow.
Cooler air mass comes in, and all of a sudden, as we see those numbers for high temperatures tomorrow, they're a lot different, a lot lower.
That's right. We'll see 60s in Oklahoma City, but one thing I also want to point out, look at this temperature whiplash across southern Oklahoma and northern Texas. Lawton going from the 70s to the 90s, back to the 70s on Tuesday. Dallas, the same thing, going from 75 on Sunday back to 91, feeling like summer on Monday, dropping back down to 79 on Tuesday.
Yeah, never know if you're going to need the coat or not as you go out each day, so check the AccuWeather app too. All right, another storm system working into the western U.S., helping to stir up some trouble.
Yeah, overall, we will be watching out for more storm chances there across the northwest. The highest potential for these storms is actually going to be late Saturday into early Sunday, and you can see this big dip in the jet stream is going to bring the chilly rain and the mountain snow there across the region.
So rain gear will be needed for the second half of the weekend if you got any plans. Most of us looking okay today as we keep things kind of cool through the northern Rockies, and the rain arrives late to spots like Seattle.
Yeah, isolated showers here for today. Overall, temperature-wise, it'll be mild for this time of year, but as we head into tomorrow, that's when we're going to see breezy, chilly, and rainy conditions here for your Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, all the big changes there, and then that storm system will push into the plains as we get into the middle of the week after it lowers the temperatures to the 50s in Helena. And that's going to wrap our big three.
And here's an updated look at your travel map going into this afternoon from Dallas to Little Rock, Memphis. All these areas will be watching out for major delays possible because of that risk of severe weather. Also, some showers across the Midwest and the Northwest could cause some slowdowns across these regions as well. Stay right here with AccuWeather Weekend. We'll have more updates coming up right after this.